All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Zach Sawyer. Tonight I'll be serving as the chair. This is the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for July 6, 2023, and we will hear the cases in the order they appear on the agenda. One thing to make note of, on your agenda, item 6.2, which was to discuss and take action to appoint a subcommittee of Planning and Zoning Commission members to research and discuss the amortization policy. We're going to postpone that due to state legislature adopted a new law that our legal department's reviewing, and I think they're going to review that, possibly brief city council, and then come back to us. Is that right? Okay. So item 6.2 we will not hear this evening. And first matter of business, citizens comment. Anybody sign up, Karen? Okay. Next, we need approval of the minutes for June 1st.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, moving to the consent agenda. We will need a motion. Does anybody want to move a specific consent agenda item? Okay, if not, then we'll need in its entirety a motion for item 3.
Motion to approve the consent agenda item 3.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. All right, next, Rule 15 plats. And we will hear from staff. First up, Harmon Tank.
Good evening. This is Harmon Tank Edition. The applicant is Hugo Reed and Associates. This is a Rule 15 plat located north of East Broadway, south of East 10th Street, and east of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. The applicant is requesting approval of water, sewer, and pavement delays, and easement and right-of-way closures. Here is the plat. And here are conditions provided from engineering, GIS, and planning. Staff recommends approval of this plat with conditions and approval of water, sewer, and pavement delays, and easement and right-of-way closures. We can take any questions.
Questions for staff? All right, now we need a motion.
Motion to approve item 4.1.1.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Next item, 4.1.2.
Hello, board. I'm Greg Hernandez with the Planning Department, and this is a.
Let me interrupt you real quick. Did you need to recuse on this one? Okay, so Brandon's going to recuse for this case. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. This is the South Plains replat. The applicant is Kimley Horn, requesting a Rule 15 plat with easement closures. The property is located west of Slide Road and south of 57th Street. Here's the plat. Here are engineering conditions, additional engineering conditions, and GIS conditions. And staff recommends approval with easement closures. I can take any questions at this time.
Can you explain a little bit more about what this is and go over the plat?
Yeah, so here's the track A1 and track B1. They're essentially breaking off that portion there, B1, to make it a separate property, separate owner.
What was Sears now going to be dealing
It's going to be Dillard's, exactly. There's some easements in there that they're having to close through city council, so.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, then we will need a motion.
Motion to approve 4.1.2 as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Triple C Business Park. Oh, sorry, Brandon.
This is Triple C Business Park. The applicant is Delta Land Surveying Engineering. This is a Rule 15 plat located south of 116th Street and east of Indiana Avenue. The applicant is requesting approval of sewer delays. Here is a plat. And here are conditions provided by engineering, GIS, and planning. Staff recommends approval of this plat with conditions and approval of the sewer delay. We can take any questions.
Okay, any questions? Sewer delay? All right, and we'll need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion, Susan.
Second.
Second, James. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Last, Rule 15, West End Place Annex.
This is West End Place Annex replat. The applicant is Delta Land Surveying Engineering, requesting a Rule 15 plat with paving delays. The plat is located south of 19th Street and west of Kawana Avenue. Here's the plat. Here are engineering conditions as well as GIS conditions. And staff recommends approval of plat with conditions and denial of paving delay.
Denial of paving delay, so any questions on that?
What was the request to have a paving delay? And it looks like that's all paved. What was the,
And I believe that's why the denial, let me see, engineering made that not supported. I believe it was because it was already paved. It just came in that way. When They came in
Yeah,
requested.
it just looks on the aerial like it's already paved. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? And we'll need a motion.
Motion to approve with conditions and denial of paving delay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we'll move into zone cases. Item 5.1 on your agenda, zone case 804-D.
Good evening. My name is Shane Spencer, and this is Zone Case 804-D. The applicant is Delta Land Surveying for John and Colton English Family Trust, and they are requesting a zone change from Single Family District R1 to Apartment Medical District AM. We have sent 12 notifications, and we're now up to 4 that have been returned in favor, 0 in opposition. The subject property is located north of Clemson Street and east of Clemson Drive. Here's the notification map. Here's the aerial map. There are single-family homes to the west and south, a golf course to the north, and industrial buildings to the east. This is the zoning map. Properties to the north, west, and south are zoned single-family district, R1, with industrial park district zoning to the east across the interstate. Here's the future land use map. This property is designated for low-density residential land uses. Here are photos of the subject and surrounding property. The future land use map designates this area for low-density residential land uses. This request does not conform to this designation and will not be appropriate next to adjacent residential land uses. Therefore, this request is not in conformance with the comprehensive plan principles. The proposed zone change is not in conformance with the zoning ordinance. The property is located in a residential subdivision at the end of a cul-de-sac with adjacent existing homes. The proposed zone change is not compatible with the surrounding area and would change the character of the existing development, and it's located along Clemson Drive, which is designated as a local street by the Master Thoroughfare Plan. Additionally, this property is adjacent to, though not necessarily provided with access from both Yucca Lane and I-27, which are designated as a collector and a freeway respectively. Staff recommends denial of this request, and I can take any questions at this time.
Could you go back to that west elevation, the pictures you took of the property? Is that a house being built?
That is a house being built on the corner of Clemson Drive and Clemson Street on the northwest corner, if I'm not mistaken.
So on the north view, it's on, the property you're talking about is on the right side.
Yes. So if I go back here, it would be lot 21, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the home's being built. So go back one. Where those connexes are and all that material,
Yes.
is that the property we're talking about right now?
About, yeah, that would be probably the midpoint of, that'd be on the northern portion of that lot, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it the same owner on both sides of the street?
The two lots in question, I believe, are yes.
They're the same, they're owned by the same person that's developing the house across the street?
Oh, no, I don't believe so. No. The house across the street that we see under construction there, I believe, is a different owner. I believe we did receive a letter from them, as well as the two applicant owners.
Okay.
Could you go back to the map that shows who was in favor?
It's slightly outdated, so the fourth property, again, we just received this one today. The fourth property that was in favor is just to the south of the two properties on the right-hand side right there.
So the people who are in favor, the two on the right, they're owners of this land that they want to have the...
I believe that, yeah, the two on the right there are the subject property owners.
Okay. So the one that we got today, is it also part of this package that wants the zoning change?
The last letter you received, the one that we received today, is not reflected on this map. So we have a total of 4 in favor. This one was good. This map was from good as of yesterday, essentially.
And so where would they be located on that?
They would be located just south of the 2 in favor on the right. So, yeah, that little small one just to the south.
Okay, thanks.
And the one in favor, they have contingencies.
Yes.
To be a bank branch.
A bank is not a permitted use in the AM district.
Okay. That's what I have to figure. Okay, any other questions for staff at this time? Okay, thank you, Shane. All right, then we'll go ahead. We'll open the public hearing. And is the applicant or representative here like to add any additional comment? Yes, sir. Please state your name and address.
I'm Robert Kennedy with the Delta Lancer Ring, 1310 Jarvis Street. And this is Colton English.
Colton English at 3911 4th Street. And we are presenting this zone case change today. We have neighbors that are living next to this property. Danny, Jacob, and Julia. Danny, Julia, and Ann are behind me, and they also sent another one in that's not documented on there. The house that is being built is theirs. We would like to change this to the apartment medical district with special use for a bank. And we are going to want to sell that to build a bank branch there on the corner and fence that off from the other neighbors. We'll fence it off so you won't see it and it won't disturb the neighborhood. And we've met with all the neighbors out there and they're all in favor of it. So we also spoke with the golf course and they were in favor of it as well, but did not receive a reply from them, it looks like.
Kristen,
Yep.
question, did you not just say a bank is not a permitted use?
It is not a permitted use. I am confirming, I believe it is a specific use within the code. The application submitted only requested the AM zoning. It did not ask for a specific use for a bank. So let me confirm.
We would like to place the specific use on there for a bank.
In order for the commission to consider the specific use, okay, that the AM district allows a savings and loan office, a bank, as a specific use, but the request would have to be advertised in that manner, which it was not. So today, the commission can continue with hearing the request for AM only, or we can bring this back to you at a later date with the specific use for a bank.
Where did the initial AEM come from? Like, where did that, why was it not applied for as a
Specific use.
as a bank initially, as the zoning for a bank? Where did apartment medical come from?
We were under the impression that that's the route we needed to take. We looked at other zoning cases around town. We looked at 112th Street and Quaker at the People's Bank there. We looked at ABC Bank on the North Loop and right there next in the medical district next to the heart hospital. And so we chose that route. We want our look to be the same as kind of what that is.
So I'm just trying to understand this right. You're going to essentially turn these two lots into frontage that would be on the interstate side and the Yucca side. There would be frontage on that side, and this would be walled off on the residential side.
You would have frontage on the access road. The entry to get into the bank would be off of Yucca. Your traffic would flow through there, and it is for both lots.
So there would
And
be,
then,
go ahead.
and then the wall is on the residential side that comes down, going north to south to the cul-de-sac at Clemson, wrap around Clemson and continue south, and then back up along towards the access road where that residential property is.
So there would be no access to this property from Clemson
No, sir.
when it's done.
Correct.
Mr. Chair, may I re-emphasize Kristen's point? Since the request that was submitted to planning was only for AM and not for the specific use for a bank, we have legal notifications that we're required to put for what's happening, what the request is at the property. So the commission can only hear your request for AM, not anything to do with the bank, or you all can resubmit your application to planning with the specific use request, because they'll have to republish that anyway in the newspaper, and then you can do it all at once. So it's up to you whether you just want them to hear the apartment medical request, or if you want to come back another month
Yeah,
and do it all at once.
you don't want to stay here the AM. So do we postpone?
You would have
Or deny.
to, somebody would have to move to postpone it.
Okay. So, and even though we postpone, they can resubmit for something other than AM.
Yes, but also we will have to continue the public hearing since it's already open for this item.
Okay. So does that make sense? You know, it was the application's wrong. So we'll have to do this again next month, which is
August 10th.
July 27th.
So-
September.
It may have to be bumped to September. I will see if we can get it on legal notice for July 27th.
And Mr. Chair,
tomorrow. I'll get it in tomorrow.
just to clarify for the sake of the applicants, you're suggesting that AM would not be approved because of the uses that are allowed in it?
Yes.
Correct. But if
So,
it didn't
so
apply-
just to clarify, what we're suggesting is that it is more likely that if you come to us with a specific use, we would be more likely, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but we would be more likely to vote for something that we know specifically what's going in there versus a broad category where it's like, we don't know what's going in there.
You can't get what you're requesting in AM. It has to be apartment medical specific use.
Yes, and even with the specific use request, anything that's allowed in AM would be allowed as well. The specific uses in addition to.
Okay, so any other questions for the applicant? Or do y'all have any questions for us?
Now that's what we're looking for. Y'all understand what what we're looking for and what we're trying to accomplish. And
You understand what we're saying back to you?
yes,
It's
yeah.
accessible off of Yucca, it's accessible off the frontage road, it's blocked off from the neighborhood. You apparent, from what I'm hearing, they have support from the neighbors. So let's we'll need a motion,
We need to finish the hearing first.
right? But we'll come back and do this hopefully the next
These
July
people
27th meeting. All right,
have approved.
so anything else for that?
I would think for something like this, it would be helpful to have some kind of site plan.
Renderings?
Just because you're taking a piece out of a residential cul-de-sac like that, and that's pretty abrasive, but it makes sense.
Yeah, where it's located.
Yeah. But it just needs to have some kind of site plan, I think, for us to see.
And Mr. Wheatley, to your point, specific use requests do require a site plan, so it would be required.
Okay.
All right.
And we can tie that site plan to the case.
Okay.
So I would show up in the planning office tomorrow and get their help.
Let's get on the agenda. Okay.
So, in considering your motion, you may just want to postpone it indefinitely because they may or may not have a site plan.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead of kicking it down the road multiple times, we'll just leave it up to them in planning.
Okay, thank
If we get there, if we turn it in tomorrow, you think July would be the date?
If they turn it in before noon tomorrow, because we would have to amend the legal notice, we can get it on the July 27th agenda. Otherwise, it will be the first meeting and it'll be the first Thursday in September, September 7th.
Do you have a site plan?
We can get one. We need to submit that tomorrow as well, or just have it at the hearing? Tomorrow.
The whole package.
Okay?
So we'll do it indefinitely if it works.
you. Good
great.
indefinitely, if you get it in time, we'll be going there, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so with that, is there anyone here to speak in favor of this zone case? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Oh, somebody wants to speak in favor?
If y'all want to have a seat, unless you want to tell
Yeah,
the commission anything else about your project.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jacob Daniel Apodaca, and my wife Julia and my sister-in-law Ann own the house that we're building right across from that lot that's being considered for development. We also own the lot across the street there on the corner of Clemson and Clemson, lot number 15, and we are in total approval of this plan by the English family to build a bank. We know our neighbors as well, most of the neighbors as well, and we just moved here from Austin a year ago, and this home that we're building, we're retiring to. All three of us are retired now, and we appreciate the fact that you are having this hearing this evening, and want to thank you for considering this, and just wanted to let you know that we totally approve of the plan that they're proposing.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak in favor? Yes, sir.
First of all, thank y'all for allowing us to come and approach you today. My name is Tom Turner. I live in Abernathy, Texas, and I own the First State Bank of Abernathy. We have branches in Haskell and we have branches in Stanford. A little bit of history about the bank is we are a small country bank and we are 109 years old. We've only had 3 owners and I am the 3rd. The bank was originated by Dr. M.C. Overton, which we're all familiar with him in this area. And so we feel that this would be an addition to that part of Lubbock. And so with that, I appreciate your consideration, and we'll get the information that you need and a rendering and a site plan and so forth for you to look at. So thank y'all.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to speak in favor? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? All right, not seeing any. We'll go ahead, we'll close the public hearing. And questions, comments, discussion? I think we know what direction we're going here. So you know how to make your
Would
motion?
like to make the motion to postpone zone case 804D indefinitely pending resubmission of site plans.
Second.
Second, Ms. Tomlinson. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay. We'll move on to item 5.2 on the agenda. 1511-N.
This is zone case 1511-N. It's for Keshem LLC for Ramesh Krishnan. The request is for a zone change from restricted local retail district C2A to commercial district C4. This property is in District 3 and is located north of 50th Street and east of Salem Avenue. We sent out 27 notifications and have received 0 in favor and 0 in opposition. Here is an aerial view of the subject property. The property is adjacent to single-family residences to the north, an auto repair business to the east, professional service businesses to the south, and a fast food restaurant to the west. The subject property is currently zoned restricted local retail district C2A. The property is adjacent to single-family residences zoned R1 to the north, general retail district C3 to the east, multifamily district R3 to the south, and C2A to the west. The future land use map designates the subject property for commercial land uses. The request for C4 zoning is consistent with this designation and is in conformance with the comprehensive plan principles. Here are photos of the subject property and the surrounding area. And here's a north view of the parking lot with the travel trailers taken July 3rd. And this is a Google Street View from April of 2023. The future land use map designates the subject property for commercial land uses. The request for C4 zoning is consistent with this designation and is in conformance with the comprehensive plan principles. The proposed zone change request is in conformance with the zoning ordinance and will be appropriate at the proposed location. The proposed zone change is compatible with the surrounding area and will not change the character of the existing development. It is appropriate adjacent to other commercial uses. The property is located north of 50th Street, which is designated as a principal arterial, and east of Salem Avenue, which is designated as a local street. Arterials are continuous routes whose function is to serve high volume needs of local and regional traffic. Staff recommends approval of this request, and we can take any questions at this time.
Couple of questions. I guess this is different from when the city council denied it earlier because they're going from C2 to C4 now, correct?
Yes, he is requesting this use for just to be able to have the travel trailers for one of his tenants, which is the Caniac, the business in the center.
Okay. Next question is, he's requesting this because he's been in violation.
Correct.
Okay. And third one is only for the one suite or the whole building?
It's for the entire building, but it's for one tenant in the building. And the applicant is here to address any questions or concerns you may have.
Look at the existing zoning map again.
I believe the application says Suite 200.
So next door is C4 at lot 112 or C3? Yeah, to the east.
To the east is C3. The
C3.
darker red further east is C4.
Okay.
So historically speaking on this property, this is the second or third time we've seen this one, right? I feel like we've seen this a lot lately.
It's at least the second one, for sure.
So the first time it came around, what was the intended use they were asking for?
C2 for a smoke shop.
C2,
For a smoke shop.
okay? And that was approved through planning and zoning, denied through city council? Or was that denied by planning and zoning?
It was definitely denied by city council.
Okay. And then this time around, going to C4, not for a specific suite, but the entire building.
We did advertise it for Suite 200.
Okay, suite 200. So we're talking about one suite in the whole.
Correct.
So could a smoke shop be in C4?
Yes,
Without specific use, without anything.
correct.
So is the trailer rental the same as the other one, or is it different tenants? Well, I guess we can ask that.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same. It's for the tenant and he owns he's operating that business, but he's requesting to be able to operate travel trailers also to supplement.
When you
For his
say
lease.
travel trailers, are you talking about the U-Hauls?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is this business?
You want to ask the applicant? If he's here. Any other questions for staff? Okay, all right, she's done. We'll open the public hearing. Is the applicant here, representative? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Ramesh Krishnan, and he's the operator of the business, Stephen Taylor. We're open for questions.
So Susan, you were asking about what the business is?
What is this business? Is it Gainiac?
Yes, ma'am. Gainiac Nutrition. It's a sports nutrition supplement company.
And so why are you asking to store trailers there or to rent trailers there?
Yes, ma'am. We also started renting U-Hauls for use of the space there.
It's just something that your business also does.
Correct.
A nutrition business that rents U-Hauls.
Correct. Just extra income.
So are you planning to do extra income by installing a smoke shop?
That's not me.
The smoke shop is next door.
Okay.
That's actually a CBD place. They just also have a vape in there, so that's why we had applied for C2 to C2A.
So if you need a U-Haul, you call and then you go pick up from his location rather than somewhere else. Right, because right now, it's in violation of, because you can't have
You can't have the trailer rental,
Yeah.
the U-Haul rental.
and specific to suite.
We didn't know till we got the notice.
Yeah.
We thought it's our parking lot, so we could use it, and then when we got the notice, oops, then we filed for rezoning.
Which
Sorry.
one is, so the nutrition's in the middle, that's suite 200?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. Question for the applicant?
So who owns the two businesses that are on either side of the nutrition shop?
The first one is a staffing place, and they operate out of Amarillo. They just have this office to hold in here for paperwork. Nobody is ever there. And then the third suite, which is on the other side, east side of Gainiac Nutrition, is the CBD place. They sell CBD products.
But you own the entire building?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions at this point? Okay. Thank you. We may have some questions here shortly.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of this zone case? Anyone here to speak in favor? Okay. So not seeing any, we'll close the public hearing. And we didn't get any letters of opposition on this? Okay. Comments? Thoughts?
I don't know that I am in principle opposed to him renting trailers out of his shop. I mean, it's odd, but I don't know that I'm in principle opposed to that. What makes me uncomfortable is that it's C4 and this, not specifically this suite, but this property has wanted to put a smoke shop in there in the past. And I'm not sure I'm comfortable this has already been denied, so I'm not sure I'm comfortable. Yeah,
At a lower zone.
at a lower
Does-
zoning, yeah.
But the smoke shop was denied.
The smoke shop has been
Not-
denied, right, exactly.
But since it's one owner, we're not approving a trailer rental versus smoke shop, we're approving C4. So we won't be able to say, this
If
gentleman
you
leaves and
approve
someone else
it,
comes
they
in.
can do it later.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I'm saying.
that's what I'm saying, is that
It opens the door
it opens
for
the
this,
door,
for him to do that.
yeah.
Okay, can I ask him a question? I know I closed the public hearing, can I?
Yeah, it's your choice.
Okay. We'll reopen the public hearing.
Okay.
We don't have.
I was just going to
All right.
address what she was talking about.
The question, so one question I have is how long have y'all been running trailers out of that?
Oh, just a few, 3 months, I think, 3 or 4 months, when we got the notice and then we applied for the rezoning. And just to bring up what y'all are talking about, denied, the request was approved by the zoning department. I did not know that I had to show up here because they called me and said it has been approved. So I said, I don't need to come for the council meeting. Since I didn't show up for the council meeting, they denied it. So we reapplied and then they said, okay, now it's approved. So C2A was approved. And it's a CBD store, not a smoke shop. It is a CBD store. They just have some vape products in there. So we had to apply for the rezoning. So it was approved, not denied.
Okay.
I remember this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kristen? Is that correct, what he was saying, that it did get approved?
No, the request to C2 back in April was denied by city council. It required a supermajority vote and it failed 4-3.
So it wasn't because he wasn't in attendance, it was, that was the point you were making, right?
Yes, because I
It was
got
denied because you weren't at the meeting.
I got a call saying it was approved, and then since I didn't show up, it was denied. I got the letter, so I called the zoning department. And they said you're supposed to show up. So the next meeting, I did show up. I came here, we talked about it, and y'all approved it. So on paper, it is approved, and I have the notification saying it's approved to C2A. I have the notification letter saying it's approved to C2A.
The property is currently C2A, Restricted Local Retail District. The request to Local Retail District C2 is what was denied in April.
I'm confused because originally it was C2. We requested a change from C2 to C2A.
Flip it around. You requested a change from C2A, which is more restrictive, to C2, which would
Oh.
allow more uses, including a smoke shop.
Oh, okay.
Right. Any other?
Out of curiosity, if we dedicate, say, for example, this Suite 200 to C4, where would the dedicated parking be, or does that come into play?
I'm assuming it's the parking, no?
It doesn't come into play. I mean, because the property shares parking amongst its tenants. Mhm.
Okay. I was just curious.
And the other thing is, it looks like updates have been made to the building. Did you do that?
Yes.
You made the improvements?
Yes.
When did you do that?
It was a very old building. If y'all remember, it was
Shakey's Pizza.
exactly. That's what I was trying to get. It was a very old building, and then Thrifty Nickel. If y'all remember Thrifty Nickel, they used to be on there. So most of the building never got used for quite a while. And then during COVID, we got hit. 2.5 years we were closed. Nobody wanted to rent it, so the only way to rent it out was to kind of strip the whole thing except for the walls. We gutted the whole building, and then we put 3 smaller units so people could afford it. And that's how these 3 units came about.
Well, I like it that you made improvements to the building.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of buildings up and down there that need
Yeah.
improvement.
And he's just trying to make his ends meet with the U-Haul trailer. And most of the trailers now are at the back. We don't put anything in the front, and there's a lot of parking space. Up in the back, front, east side, west side, we own a lot of spaces.
Can we go back to what future use
Yes.
looks like?
That's That's your future land use.
I'm inclined, it makes me nervous, but I'm inclined to approve it. I have no objections to him renting U-Hauls out in that space. It looks appropriate for it. It's the past history with the CBD shop that makes me nervous, but.
I agree.
But I don't see any schools or churches anywhere nearby.
We didn't have any opposition immediately.
Didn't have any opposition. It's future use, in conformance with future use.
I mean,
C4 makes me nervous, but.
same with me, but I'm leaning towards, we've got to do something inside the loop for business.
Yeah.
And he's
trying
made
to
improvements.
pay his bills.
Yeah, and he's made improvements. It looks good.
Yes.
Yeah.
In between Indiana and University where nothing works.
How many square feet is Suite 200? Do you know how many square feet Suite 200 is?
It's about a little over 1,500, 1,505, something like that.
Purpose of discussion.
There is a C4 sliver further down to the east and like, I can't see what lot that is. 109. What business is that? Do we know?
Is it 114? 10, oh, I see. 109.
Okay, we don't know. So for purposes of discussion, we'll do, we'll move to approve for purpose of discussion.
We need a second?
Second.
So to your point, do we know what that is?
It's a tattoo studio. The C4 was approved in 2021.
Okay.
Tattoo studio is permitted by right in C4.
Yeah, it's a little messy, like sliding into this, but that's what it feels like to me. But it is on that future land use plan. It is a C4 all up and down there. So, and there is one little sliver down the way, and
Okay, anybody else? We have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? All right, call the question. One more time. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Can we have a show of hands?
Okay, all in favor? And all opposed? Very good. Okay, now goes. That goes to city council. What's the city council date?
July 25th.
25th. All right. Thank you. Next item, 5.3, Hub City Capital. 2161-L, Hub City Capital.
Good evening. My name is Ashley Padilla. This is zone case 2161L. The applicant is Hub City Capital LLC for G Green Street, requesting a zone change from Garden Office GO to General Retail District C3. We've sent out 10 notifications, receiving 0 back. This property is located west of University Avenue and south of 89th Street. Here's an aerial view of the property. To the north is a medical clinic, zone GO. To the east, across University Avenue, are single-family homes, zoned R1. To the south is a nonprofit community assistance organization, zoned A1. And to the west is vacant land, zoned R1. The current zoning is Garden Office. The future land use plan designates this property for commercial. Here are photos of the property and its surroundings. The future land use map designates this area for commercial land use. The proposed zone change to C3 would be in conformance with this designation and would conform to the principles of the 2040 comprehensive plan. This request would be appropriate near the existing C3 zoning to the north and fronting onto an arterial street. The proposed zoning request is in conformance with the zoning ordinance and is appropriate for this area. The proposed zoning is compatible with the surrounding area and will not change the character of the existing development. The proposed rezoning location is along University Avenue. The Master Thoroughfare Plan 2018 designates University Avenue as a principal arterial. And staff recommends approval of this request, and I can take any questions.
What was the intended use?
I'm not sure. You have to ask the applicant.
Any questions for staff? Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, then we'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Is the applicant here? Like to make any additional comments? Yes, sir.
Name's Dan Williams with Hub City Capital. 4615 9th Street is my address. 8902 University. So this is land that's was originally a part of the property to the north, I think, and they divided it off. Green Street Construction bought it. And our intent with the property is really just to kind of open up our options for development for restaurant, quick service retail is probably most likely the use, because you got Shipley Donuts, you've got the taco place, you've got Chick-fil-A right there, you've got a new credit union going in across the street to the north of the tire shop. It's Whataburgers right there, so you kind of got all of that mix. So I think that's why the future land use map shows basically all of that in general retail zoning. So that's kind of our game plan. We don't have it set in stone. But that's kind of our plan to open up our options from a marketing perspective. So,
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Williams? At this time? Okay, thank you.
all right, thank y'all.
Okay, is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this zone case? Anyone here to speak in favor? Not seeing any, we'll close the public hearing. And for the purpose of discussion, we'll need a motion.
For purposes of discussion, I'd like to make the motion to approve zone case 2161L.
Second. Okay. Any questions for staff or applicant? Understand what we're doing? It's been vacant for a long time. Forever. Okay. Nothing else? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right. Item 5.4. On case 1598-K.
Okay, this is zone case 1598K. The applicant is Earl and Sherry Craig for Linda Waite, requesting a zone change from single-family district R1 specific use for an RV and mobile home park and commercial district C4 to light manufacturing district M1. We've sent out 8 notifications, receiving 0 back. This property is located west of West Loop 289 and north of 43rd Street. Here's an aerial view of the subject property. The property to the east across West Loop 289 is developed with a car dealership, zone C4. To the south is a commercial office building, also zoned C4. To the west is an RV and mobile home park, zoned R1 specific use. To the north is a commercial business, zoned C4. The current zoning is single-family specific use and commercial. The future land use plan designates this property for commercial. Here are photos of the property and its surroundings. The future land use map designates this area for commercial land use. Although the proposed zone change to M1 would not be in conformance with this designation, it is in conformance with the principles of the 2040 Comprehensive Plan, and it would be appropriate while fronting onto a freeway and near the existing M1 zoning to the south and southwest of the subject property. The proposed zoning request is in conformance with the zoning ordinance and is appropriate for this area. The proposed zoning is compatible with the surrounding area and appropriate adjacent to a freeway. The proposed rezoning location will be along West Loop 289. The Master Thoroughfare Plan 2018 designates West Loop 289 as a freeway. And staff recommends approval of this request, and I can take any questions.
Questions for staff? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then we'll open the public hearing. Is the applicant here? Like to make any additional comments? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. If you please state your name and address.
I'm Earl Craig, and this is my wife Sherry. works Dirksen Portable Building Representative for Lubbock County. She's here because she hears very good. I can't hear thunder without these hearing aids, so she can hear anything. So be careful what you say.
Okay. M1, Ashley, I guess this is a question for you. If this is approved, do they have to put a fence up around this property along the frontage side? And is it currently being used as an entrance and exit?
I don't know what you're saying.
So, Mr. Chairman, the screening fence would only be required on the west property line adjacent to the single-family R1 zoning.
Okay. That makes sense. And Ashley, do you know what they're currently using it for?
I do not right now. It's vacant. That area is vacant.
I thought that may have been entrance exit for.
Is that an exit drive currently? It looks like there's a street there. Is that right or no?
Yes, there's an exit on the property and off the property. Actually, the people that own the property there, they're not in Canada right now, but they want us to be able to use the property to sell the buildings on.
Portable building.
Portable buildings.
Okay.
Actually, she has had that portable building service there before. And then she went out of business there and didn't put it back in. And so we're with that same company that she was with, and they knew us and wanted us to have that to use. And so we want to be legal and get our, be sure we're right with the city to put those buildings there.
Okay.
Do we know if that is an exit, shared driveway, or easement of any sort right now?
I don't think it's shared. I mean, I may be wrong, so I'm not, the exit in and out of the property, is it shared or?
They are sharing it, but it is not shared. The pavement where it's got the place for the cars to come in is on that property, our property. The people north of us also use it. But the property and the driveway has been bought and paid for by the people that own this property. We're getting.
I guess what I'm asking is this: if this goes M1, could this block off a required entry exit to this mobile home park?
Oh, no, not at all, because actually the mobile home business is in it's a different excess altogether. It's not even on, it used to be, and they boarded that up, and it's a cement wall.
Okay.
And so on down is a block is where you
North
have the motorhome business.
Yeah, block north.
Yeah. That's where they actually have houses that they live in,
So
RV park.
Kristen, when they applied for this, you would have found that there was a easement of any sort, right? Because there's, like, to George's point, is that this isn't a egress or?
Right, we would verify that. And as they stated that there's a masonry fence, I can see that fence on Google Street View. So there is no access to the RV park from this property.
Okay.
It just looks like it used to, right? We were using it sometime.
I was with you, Jordan. That's kind of what I thought.
So M1, you're wanting to just, M1 because you're wanting to sell metal buildings on it?
No, well, they're portable buildings. You want to explain it?
This Dirksen Portable Buildings are in 27 states. They do between $12 and $15 million worth of business a month nationwide. They're probably one of the largest #1 builders in the Southwest. But they're on 4x16 skids. They have a 50-year warranty. The outside things on the painted buildings have a 50-year warranty. And we've sold between 4,000 and 5,000 of my lots on the Mark Sharp Freeway and the Toke Highway. We've been here about 15 years.
Kristen, can you remind us some uses in M1 other than?
So M1 is your light manufacturing district, so it does include some manufacturing uses like aluminum fabrication, automobile body shops, a commercial bakery, brewery, carpet cleaning facility, food manufacturing, clothing manufacturing, a feed store, game room, glass blowing, lumberyard, machine shop.
Is there any other zoning that would work for what they're describing?
No, and I was verifying, and it's not a permitted use in C4. So M1's the next step up.
Is there any other M1 along this frontage?
There's M1 just to the south, if we can go to the next slide.
Is that water?
There you go. Oh, no. The gray is M1.
Is that access water?
Okay, so any other questions for the applicant? If not, thank y'all.
Thank
We may
you.
call on you here in a minute, I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of this zone case? Anyone here to speak in favor? Okay, not seeing any, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing.
For matter of discussion, motion to approve zone case 1598K.
Second?
Okay.
I'm with you, Jordan. I'm just kind of hesitant on the M1.
I see that there's M1 to the south, and I get it. My only concern is that the game room deal, I know that city council just denies those all the time. Going forward on UDC, how does M1 and how does it
Is it
transform into that?
So in the UDC, M1 becomes LI, the Light Industrial District. It is very similar with, light manufacturing uses similar to what I just read off. I believe it still will allow a game room by right. So it won't change that much. The three properties here that are M1 are Family Power Sports, Lone Star Shooting, and Ferguson Plumbing.
You just can't absolutely nix out, or we can't vote out a game room.
No.
Yeah. I don't get that drift out of this applicant at all. It's just, man, I don't.
No, I'm with you. It's not necessarily the applicant because you never know. We've had, how many things have we ever seen before with one, I'm not saying on them purported purpose, and it comes into something different.
Yeah.
And again, M1's always one of those ones that's always scared me.
There's no other designation they could use.
No.
Why is, I'm just trying to think through this. So like the previous two cases ago was renting trailers
Right.
and that's C4.
Yes.
But on this, since it's portable buildings, it's a different designation. I mean, those are all portable things that there's buying and
Right.
selling.
Right. Our code is very specific today.
But I think for me, in principle, it's kind of the same thing. I hate to, I hear what you're saying. I mean, anytime we open the door, we can't say what a future owner is going to do.
Right.
At the same time, it seems like they've been selling these buildings. If it's a viable business, somebody's going to come along who also wants. I mean, that seems like as M1 businesses go, that seems pretty benign. I understand the worry about the game room in that area. I don't I don't know that that would be a great place for a game room, but I could be wrong.
The game room deal is or is not specific use in M1.
Is not specific use
Is
in
not.
M1. Mhm.
Yeah.
How is that not specific?
But you know, if we're gonna deny M1, you know, because there might be a game room in M1 at
Yeah.
some point, then you would have to deny all M1.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
agree with that, yeah.
I mean, you'd have to say, well, they could put a game room there, let's not do it. But, you know, if we're going to say, you know, here are a couple of people who want to sell portable buildings, people need portable buildings, people need to sell portable buildings.
So
And
go ahead. So the business is ongoing right now?
Do you currently have a business at this location right now?
Well, I'm just saying, are
No, we're not currently there right now, but we have two other locations here in Lubbock.
And about 14 years ago, Linda, the person that owns the property, she had Dirksen Portable Buildings on the property at that time and had it there for a while. So would it be grandfathered in for that kind of business?
No. And do y'all plan on building a structure to house all this manufacturing in, or is it just?
Oh, no.
No, these buildings are built in Amarillo.
Okay.
They're
Right down
transported.
here, and they're on your lot.
They're transported here, they slide off the truck, and then when we sell them, they suck them on the truck with a winch, and they take it and deliver it to the customer.
Just a process of buying and selling, actually, product.
Okay.
So the thing is that, you know, I mean, that is our worry. This is our worry. Is that anytime we put a zone designation on something that allows a wide range of things, you may be saying, in all sincerity, this is what we're going to put there. That's your intention. You may even put that there. But at some point in the future, now that it's this other zone, somebody else could come in and put in something that we would not think was appropriate for that space. And in the case of in the earlier days with the rental U-Hauls, it seemed like it was appropriate for that space. And also, since there's already a CBD shop, if something else comes in at that C4, because we've opened that door, we kind of know it was going to go there. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at, is it appropriate for this space? Is it harmonious with the surrounding area? And here's light manufacturing just down the road. So it looks like it's harmonious with that area. And so we have no control over what somebody might do in the future. We just have control over what they're proposing right now and whether that designation is harmonious with that space. And it looks harmonious with that space to me. I would not want to see a game room there, but I'm not ruling on game rooms tonight. I'm ruling on him.
Yeah, those are all good points. If there was no M1 to the south, I'd be a hard no on this, but I think I'm okay with it, with what you're saying and your points. I think there's got to be some way going forward that the city, and they may already be working on it, to deal with game rooms, or maybe the state is. That's a different discussion, but anyway, it's good points, Susan.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? All good? All right. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay. Now we go to some council.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
All right, item 5.5, zone case 3143-A. Okay.
Okay, here is zone case 3143-A. The applicant is West Texas Engineering LLC for Tigris Development LLC. The request is for a zone change from General Retail District C3 to High-Density Apartment District A2. We have sent 19 notifications and received back none response. Subject property is located south of 32nd Street and west of Milwaukee Avenue. Here is the aerial map. There is a gas station to the south, apartments to the south and west, offices to the north, and single-family homes to the east. Here's the zoning map, which shows property zoned General Retail District C3 to the south, High Density Apartment District A2 to the south and west, Apartment Medical District AM to the north, and Single Family District to the east. The future land use map designates this property for commercial land uses. Here are photos of the subject and surrounding properties. The future land use map designates this area for commercial land uses. While this request does not conform to this designation, it would be appropriate next to adjacent residential and commercial land uses. Therefore, this request is in conformance with the comprehensive plan principles. The proposed zone change is in conformance with the zoning ordinance. The property is located adjacent to compatible land uses and along two major thoroughfares. The proposed zone change is compatible with the surrounding area and will not change the character of the existing development, and it is located along Milwaukee Avenue and 34th Street, which are designated as principal arterials, and also along 32nd Street, which is designated as a local street by the master thoroughfare plan. Staff recommends approval of this request, and I can take any questions at this time.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. All right, we'll open the public hearing. And is the applicant here like to make any additional comments? Yes, sir. If you'll please state your name and address. Good question.
Good evening. I'm Victor Roden with West Texas Engineering, 13037 Quaker Avenue. We're here representing Tigris Development, and I'm open for any questions you guys have.
Okay. Any questions at this time for the applicant? Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of this zone case or in favor? Okay, not seeing any. We'll close the public hearing and we'll need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second. Second. Any other discussion or questions? Okay. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Now we'll go to City Council. And now we will move into other business, item 6.1. Yes, ma'am.
We are very privileged.
Item 6.1 is a request from Duraline to waive the screening fence requirement for their property at 904 Lubbock Business Park Boulevard. Here's an aerial view of the subject property. It is currently zoned Industrial Park District. The screening requirement is due to the fact that they will have outdoor storage, and this district requires a screening fence around outdoor storage. But you can see they are completely surrounded by IDP zoning. They are not adjacent to residential. They're proposing an 8-foot chain link fence, same as what the Amazon Distribution Center in the Lubbock Business Park Boulevard already has. Staff recommends approval of this request, and I can take any questions.
So we've already approved this screen fence in other.
So Amazon just happens to have this fence. They are not required the screening fence because they don't have the outdoor storage.
Okay.
But I think there'd be a potential difference of what you're seeing out here versus outdoor storage.
Yeah. What are they storing outdoors?
I'll let the applicant address that.
Okay. Any other questions for staff as he's coming up? Okay. Applicant, state your name and address, please, sir.
Alan Holly with Park Hill, 4222 85th Street. This is a pipe manufacturing facility, and they make tubing actually out of HDPE pipe material. And so it's going to be on a spoil. It's tubing, plastic tubing basically on a spoil. And they will and do plan on stacking it on the south side of the building, which is back behind the front of the building, as code requires. But then they do plan on stacking that up to about 10 feet tall.
And it's within the yellow boundary, it doesn't encroach further south of that yellow boundary?
Yes, sir.
Are they planning to plant plants?
They are.
Okay.
And matter of fact, they are going to increase the landscaping around their entire perimeter, except for the north side.
In your image, to the north and east, there's a building, and it looks like they have outdoor stacking of something. Do we know what that is?
The Amazon is to the north, and so what you see there that may be looking like stacking is truck trailers that are stored. And then the building to the east is an exact, almost replica of this building. And I'm...
Well, Amazon trailers, how tall?
Tall.
Oh, yeah. They're probably...
And it's up on the frontage road.
Right.
And what you're talking about's not on the frontage road, it's
Right.
behind, and it's in our industrial park. Just making a few points.
Actually, this is closer to the frontage roads than Amazon is.
I mean, when I say frontage road, I'm talking Lubbock Business Park.
Oh, okay. So, but they are gonna do a chain link fence?
They are going to do a black vinyl
It'll be a
coated chain link fence. And
6 feet.
It'll be 8 feet tall, actually, is what they're proposing.
Could this be revised to, because if you pass this, they're saying you no fence, right?
Waiving fencing requirements.
It's
The
really
solid screening.
the screening.
It was advertised as a waiver, but you could require the 8-foot chain link.
I'd like to point out that if you're storing stuff outside, you probably want a fence.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what, yeah, right.
And that's what
Yeah.
you're proposing is to put the same fence as Amazon?
Basically, that's what they're going, they're going to put the black vinyl chain link fence around just for security purposes. Now, the front is going to be wrought iron decorative fence, which is the same thing that Amazon has done. What we're proposing is to not have the screening, because what that will then require is the slats, which are high maintenance, or a wooden fence, which I don't think that's applicable out here.
So you're thinking revising this to
Move the way,
we waive it, but
Waiving the screening requirement, but still require an 8-foot chain link fence, however it needs to be worded. If that's what you're proposing, is that what you're proposing?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, I'm good with that.
okay.
any other questions, discussion? Okay, then. So we'll need to revise the motion because it's just purpose of discussion.
We don't have one.
Do you want to make the motion, George?
I'm already,
not a public hearing.
I'm walking out the door.
I'll make a motion to waive the screening fence for item 6.1, 904 Lubbock Business Park Boulevard, but require an 8-foot chain link fence in lieu of the screening fence.
Second.
Second, Mr. Tomlinson. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, thank you. That was Brandon. Mr. Hardaway. Number 6.2 was postponed. 6.3.
6.3, I know there was some concern about upcoming meeting dates, so we posted the entire schedule so you can talk about any potential meeting dates on your 2023 schedule. Our next meeting dates are July 27th, September 7th, October 5th, November 2nd, and December 7th.
There's not a game on October 5th. You're the one that, you said there's a football game. And so there's not one.
Yeah, there is. We play TCU.
Somebody pull up this Texas Tech football schedule,
Oh,
please.
come on. We're not postponing P&Z for a football game.
Absolutely are. City council postponed their meeting.
Where is your civic duty?
Why is this not?
I think that's TCU weekend, but I thought it was TCU.
No, TCU's Thursday night. TC Thursday night, ESPN.
Okay.
Okay, it's not TC.
This panel works for Texas Tech.
TCU game is November 2.
Baylor, October
Well,
7th.
where did I, yeah, okay.
Oh,
It's
here it
me.
is.
Okay.
Take it easy. Coming at me with claws.
Hey, you were
and
agreeing with
fangs.
me too.
All right. So we do not need to.
Well, okay, November 2nd meeting's the first Thursday.
There is one on
I'm
November.
not talking about the October meeting at this point. Let's move on to the next month. Second, 23rd?
What are we looking at?
November 2nd, 2023. There is a game.
That's the
Thursday night game.
That's the Thursday night game.
Yes,
And our schedule is,
November 2nd.
we will move that.
So I had the wrong day, but I was
Yeah, move that to Wednesday.
Well, it's not one to.
Yeah, you want, I mean, can we do it the
November
Wednesday
1st.
before?
As long as it's not Thursday.
You can. We don't recommend that because people have church Wednesday nights and it's going to shift everything. Yeah.
So
You could do a week early, October 26th, or a week late, November 9th. No, we can't do November 9th. That's the APA conference. October 26th would be our recommendation.
Let's do that.
can we not, does it have to be on a Thursday?
No, council will likely have a meeting November 7th because they shift their meetings in November and December to the first and third Tuesdays.
Monday the 6th?
We could, Monday the 6th.
Monday the 6th? Everybody got their calendar?
Basketball.
7th will be council because council will shift their meetings in November and December. Say again. CPOC's at 10 in the morning. Oh, this will be at night. Yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay.
I don't care as long as it's not November 2nd.
Well, I'll throw out Monday, November 6th.
November 6th.
Second.
Okay, we had
Who made that motion?
Yes.
a vote on, or I'm going to nominate November 6th.
You got a second.
Who was the second, Jordan?
Yeah, the chair can't make motions.
Motion, November 6th. Motion to move it till to November 6th.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye, on principle.
That a girl.
Okay. Thank y'all. That's it.
And we're adjourned.
Jordan Wheatley, me and you are going to the tech game. Thank you very much.